That's a very interesting fight. I'm interested in that fight. And this is going to be a film study on that fight. What are the advantages that Mackenzie Dern has over Marina Rodriguez, and what are the advantages that Marina Rodriguez has over Mackenzie Dern? Now, there's a couple things we can consider here. Mackenzie Dern is a high-level jiu-jitsu black belt, so the obvious answer is she is much better on the ground. And Marina Rodriguez is a world-class Muay Thai specialist that fights on the stand-up. She's one of the best ever. She's not one of the best ever, but she's a very good Muay Thai specialist. She's been able to beat the likes of Michelle Waterson. Who else did she beat? She beat that other girl, Angela Hill. Did she fight her? No, and then she beat Amanda Hebas. She knocked her out. So she has dynamite in both hands. She's able to knock these girls out. So if Mackenzie's not very concerned about the power, then that's a bad look, because you may get knocked out by Marina Rodriguez if you're not careful. If you're as reckless as you are always have been fighting these other girls, then you're just gonna get knocked out, Mackenzie. That's not something that we want for you here. We want you to win the fight. I'm a big fan of Mackenzie, primarily because she's attractive and primarily because she's a very good jiu-jitsu fighter, and I love jiu-jitsu. Like, I used to roll and I used to go do jiu-jitsu at 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu in Amsterdam. That's where I used to go, and I used to train over there back in the day. Not back in the day, but I used to train there for a couple months in 2020, and I got my white belt. I mean, I didn't get my white belt, but I was a white belt at the time, trying to become a blue belt. But the price, it's kind of expensive, training jiu-jitsu, but that's whatever. And then let's look at so now that we've broken down Marina Rodriguez and Mackenzie Dern's styles, we know that this is a classic grappler versus striker matchup. It's not well, I mean, it looks like that from the surface, but when you really break it down, is it really like that? Because Mackenzie obviously has a lot of submissions. She's very good on the ground. She has a lot of submissions, a lot of arm bars, a lot of things like that. So, but the thing is, she doesn't have great wrestling. Her wrestling is not the best, and at times, Major Life, all right. At times, she looks like she's a little bit of a fish out of water on the stand-up. She's not really killing it on the stand-up. How many knockouts does Mackenzie Dern have on her record, man? How many knockouts does she have on her fucking record, dude? Like, not that many. Like, none. She only has submissions on her record. She hasn't got any knockouts on her fucking record. And her accent, her missing, her always trying to missing weight. Those things she's kind of actually put behind her in the past. She's no longer missing weight. She's always on weight. She's looking beautiful these days. Like, my God, she is much, her physique is much more beautiful than before. And I know you guys like thick girls, but I mean, I kind of like it. Like, she's shredded and she looks good. Like, I mean, I think she looks the best she's ever looked, right? So, and then coming off her last win against Nina Nunes, Nina Nunes, she was ranked number 3 at the time, and Mackenzie Dern was ranked, I don't know what she was ranked, who cares? But yeah, man, it was a cool fight. Mackenzie showed that she's very dangerous on the ground because she was able to get the submission in the first round armbar. So, it only really takes one takedown for Mackenzie to get the finish, and that's exactly what you saw in that last fight. And Marina Rodriguez, it only takes one shot for her to finish the fight because she knocked out Amanda Hebas in her last. Was it in her last fight, or did she fight Michelle Waterson in her last fight? I think it was Amanda Ribas in the last fight. I think so. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know, but she knocked her out. So, and Amanda Ribas beat Mackenzie Dern. And I know. MMA math doesn't really work like that. It's not always that simple because, Conor did beat Diaz, and then Diaz lost to Rafael dos Anjos, but then Conor probably can't beat Rafael dos Anjos. And then you could say something like, oh, Conor beat Jose Aldo, but then Aldo beat this guy, and then that guy would beat Conor. So it's like MMA math doesn't really work like that, buddy. It's like Israel Adesanya. Let me give you guys another example. He's fighting classic grapplers, right? Like Marvin Vettori, not Derek Brunson, but Marvin Vettori. Who did he fight in his fight before that? It was another grappler, Jan Blachowicz. He lost that fight. But Marvin Vettori, he's fighting a grappler. But that's the toughest fight for him, right? Or so you would think. But when he fights a striker, is it an easier matchup or a harder matchup? Which was harder, the grappler or the striker? The grappler, right? So, I don't know. I don't know. I feel like jiu-jitsu at times is overrated. I feel like, obviously, I'm not a black belt. I'm not this fucking amazing guy at jiu-jitsu, but well, let's get down to the nitty-gritty of it. Who do I think is gonna win this fight? That's a good question. Very good question. Let's see. So let me try and go through this in my head. So Marina Rodriguez, heavy hands, first round starts. Mackenzie Dern is definitely going to try to shoot on her, which is obvious. I mean, Marina Rodriguez wasn't able, if she's able to move in and out, inside and outside, stick and move, use her footwork and move around a lot, Mackenzie Dern is not even going to get close to a takedown because Rodriguez's footwork is key in this fight, and her wrestling defense, underhooks, stuff like that, just basics, getting up the cage. But I don't think Mackenzie Dern is not a pressure fighter like that. She throws big bombs to set up takedowns, to close the distance. She throws big bombs to set up takedowns. So, yeah, she's not a great wrestler. She's a good wrestler. She's not like best, but she's good enough to take people down. Except for Amanda Ribas. She couldn't take her down. And then there's people that she's fought to a decision. So she hasn't finished every opponent by submission. She's very dangerous on the ground. That's the thing. It only takes one. But at the same time, I think it's actually easy for her to avoid those submissions by Mackenzie Dern. Because think about it like this. If Dern is able to take her down against the cage, then she can just wall walk and get an underhook. That ain't that hard. Get an underhook and wall walk and get up to your feet. Don't let her take your back. That's why the underhook is there, baby. Let's go. That's why you have the underhook, to prevent the back take. Once you get up, then you're up. Then you can just turn her against the fence and get back to range. Make sure she uses range and kicks. So I think Rodriguez gets it done, in my opinion. I think she beats Mackenzie Dern, in my opinion. I think she wins this fight. But that's my official prediction. I think she wins the fight. But it could go either way, really. I guess that's kind of a cop-out, right? I should have just one guy that I'm predicting for the fight. One person for the fight. So, yeah, man, I'm picking Marina Rodriguez, man, by knockout. 4th round, 5th round, if it goes that far. I think Mackenzie Dern is going to start to slow down from the body shots and the kicks. Rodriguez needs to keep this at range. What she needs to do is keep this fight at range. If she's able to do that, then Dern's in trouble. But if Dern is able to close the distance inside, that's where. But then that's where the Muay Thai clinch comes in, because Marina Rodriguez is such a Muay Thai specialist that she can just throw knees to the body and get the Muay Thai clinch. So that's another thing that's dangerous for Mackenzie Dern, the Muay Thai clinch. But that's also a double-edged sword. Yeah, I feel like that's kind of a double-edged sword, because when you're on the inside grappling with the person and you have those clinch positions, Dern can kind of turn that around on you and take you down from the upper body position, because she's very adept at judo. That's another thing. We gotta watch out for those judo throws that she has. So not only do we have to watch out for the takedowns from the lower body position, we have to watch out for takedowns from the upper body. Sometimes something like a judo position throws, judo throws, kind of a bit close to Greco-Roman wrestling. So upper body clinch, you don't want to always go to the clinch with Mackenzie Dern because she may take you down from that clinch position. You don't want to go into the clinch with a judo expert. Actually, I take that back. It's a double-edged sword. Like I heard, you don't want to go into the clinch with a fucking judo expert. That's not what you want to do. You don't want to do that. You might want to do that when she slows down and she's hurt, but you don't want to do that in the fight at the beginning or... Nah, I don't think it's a good strategy per se, but I think it can work at times. When she's tired, slowing down, when she's hurt, for example. But don't use it as a strategy to actually get her slow down. No, don't do that. So yeah, man, Marina Rodriguez gets it done, baby. Let's go.